Okay, so I appreciate it. We'll just go with it and we'll see how it unfolds for us this evening. And then we can change. I already like it better because I'm not feeling like we're so this. And the energy feels more cohesive to me. So that's, I appreciate it. But we'll see how it goes. Take a vote. If it starts snowing, we will end the class. Like Barbara is already tentatively planning to stop the prac training. They're going to check it at break. Last night I hear she stopped the class at 8. So she said the only reason she did is because half of the people said they were leaving. So she told the other half to go. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes. I really appreciate y'all coming out. And so let's center. And know that there is one power, one presence, one love that flows in and through everything. That everything that grows, everything that breathes, everything that is inanimate and animate is God. And there is presence of love in that, in everything. And we bring that in here with us now. We are that which is the divine spirit expressing as us. And I am so grateful. I'm blessed and I'm grateful for the knowledge that we share and the love and the support in this room. And I'm really touched and blessed by the Center for Spiritual Living Asheville as this animate object that moves through the world, touching so many people. And I welcome all those here tonight, all that entities, all that soul, all that love right here. It's all one thing. And I release my word onto the law, knowing that it is acted upon and anchored in truth and faith. And so it is. And so it is. All right. So there's a couple of things that I would like to cover, but there are some other things I would like to do since as we're changing the format, but there's some announcements as well. As you know, your student workbook only goes through week 5. This is week 6. So with 6 through 10. Okay. These are still now that we don't need to look at. We can get it at break or before we leave. But that's what this is, and these are the first 5 if anyone doesn't have that. So, but when we start this one, it's going to be Rumi, and I've ordered the video, and there's several pages of just Rumi quotes in here, like several pages of Rumi, just Rumi, 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 Rumi. And as I've already said, Rumi is not I've never gravitated towards that type of poetry, or I have not gravitated towards that. And so
I've taken an OM course on they email me every day a Rumi quote for a year.
Wow. So you'll have stuff to comment on. But we'll watch the video in the sanctuary and then come back in here after that. Not next week, but the week after, I'm going to Salt Lake City. So I won't be here on Tuesday, but Lissa Rowe is going to facilitate the class. And she's got something that she's going to do around visioning, and she's, one of the co-facilitators of the Visioning Circle. And so, and she's in prac training, or she may have been co-facilitating this with me. But she's going to take that class, so I hope that you all come. And next week she might go to prac class late and talk to you about what she wants to do. So, but you all know Lissa, I believe, right? Lissa Rowe. And so she'll be doing that the week I'm gone, and that's week after next. So, and then I wanted to do sit like this because with the small group, it was feeling, and this room is so large that I would leave here and my energy would be really high, but it would be
scattered.
Scattered, yeah. Thank you. And so I'm hoping that it'll be more peaceful this way, that where I'm not boing, boing, boing like that, that I'm just boinging right here. And so, but what I'd like to start with is to review the whole treatment thing. We had started that conversation about, you know, do you acknowledge the condition, do you not? And so we're kind of still back on lesson 4, and we're going to move through that as we move into 5. So class 4, practicing the presence, and we had covered steps 1, 2, and 3 that we had a large discussion about. What do you turn from the condition, or do you look, or do you acknowledge it? And so I was uncomfortable with the way I was trying to facilitate that, so I went and looked it all up and reread everything and listened to many things and talked to people. And this is what I've come away with. Holmes says 2 different things. Holmes does, and he says, there are times when we acknowledge the condition in order to say, yes, there it is, and it's not the truth of who you are. And then there are times when we don't acknowledge the condition and we know the truth of spirit. And so one is that argumentative form of treatment that says yes, but no, 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 right? Mm-hmm. And the other is just knowing the truth. And I think it really depends on your mood and where you're at spiritually, which one is going to work for you. There's also that we don't ever discount someone in pain, right? So we can acknowledge the pain and empathize or sympathize. I don't really like sympathy, but they use it in these books. We can sympathize with people who are in pain, but know that the truth is that cause, quote unquote, is not true, that is not the truth of God. And so it can be a little bit confusing, so how can I look at Brucey and say, I understand that you're in pain, and at the same time discount the condition, right? That's not something we would do. So the truth is that we see the truth of love and spirit and God, and at the same time empathize or sympathize with that position. And so I wanted to say that because as we were going through, I didn't like the way that ended, and that was on my mind all night long. It's like there's something I missed. And so does that make it more clear? Are there questions? How do people feel about that step of the treatment? Mm-hmm.
I think Barbara touched on that as well last time she talked. I can't remember what. And it's odd. I mean, Holmes does say 2 different things, yet I guess it would depend on the situation or the condition. And then John speaks about, instead of turning your back, transcend it. Mm-hmm. Even though you acknowledge or turn your back, you still transcend it, and
and you acknowledge what's happening, right? In the old Science of Mind, or the original Science of Mind, on page 110, he says, in treatment, we turn entirely from the condition because so long as we look at a condition, we cannot overcome it. That is what the mystics said. Behold my face forevermore. Look unto me and be ye saved, all ends of the earth. That is, look up and not down. It is useless to treat one's business because business is an immaterial thing. It is an unthinking, unknowing thing. A lot of stuff in form, a lot of forms in stuff. That which decides the business shall be as in the consciousness or mind. Consequently, we must involve a mind, a correct concept of the business, seeing it as we want it to be. And when we have seen it that way long enough, it will be so. How long will it take? Until the subjective side of thought accepts the new concept as true, or until we have neutralized the old concept. And then, again, on page 203, I'm just going to read you some things, and then we can discuss it a little bit, because we're going to write a treatment tonight. 203, and, oh wait, this might not be Science of Mind. No. Oh, that's in Science of Mind. 203, I did my research, I'm telling you. 203 in Science of Mind, not, or OSM, just SOM, is mental treatment is a direct statement of belief into mind, coupled with a realization that the work is already an accomplished fact. The spiritual man needs no healing. Health is an omnipresent reality, and when the obstructions that hinder healing are removed, it will be found that health was there all the time. So, in your work, do not feel like you must heal anyone. Your only responsibility is to uncover the truth. We cannot heal successfully while we recognize sickness as a reality to spirit. Well, we maintain that disease is primarily a thing of thought. So here he starts hedging a little. Primarily a thing of thought. We do not deny the actuality of it in its experience nor the suffering it causes. Instead, we seek to heal it and we cooperate with all, no matter what method someone is choosing to relieve their stress.
I think what he's doing is giving you options, because different
Exactly.
people work
Right.
from the different starting place.
Right.
And so some people start from the place of where the people are at, and some people start at the place where they are at,
Right.
and work it through. And so that gives options on how to work it through, so not saying everybody has to be at the same place
Right.
on the starting point.
I agree. That's it. I think that's absolutely what he's talking about. And I think that the different ways he phrases it causes confusion sometimes. Is it clearing it up, or is it making it more confusing? What do you think?
It's not more confusing.
Okay, you're not more confused. Okay. He also says, we must transcend the appearance. Here we go to the transcending piece. Even though we admit it as fact, we are not so cold-blooded as to say to a person with pain that there is no such thing as pain. That is not our idea or purpose. We admit the fact. It is quite a different thing to admit its necessity. We admit that there is unhappiness, but it would be unthinkable to admit that one has to be unhappy. So that's the difference right there. We can look at whatever is secondary causation and know the truth that one doesn't have to be there. One is in pain, but pain is not the truth of who they are.
Well, you've got, perception, right? Everybody's perception is their reality.
That's right.
And everyone's different. And if one perceives themselves to be in pain or suffering, to discount that is really not being empathetic, showing empathy, whatever.
Empathize.
Empathizing, yeah, there you go. Yeah, poetic license there. But in the same tone, you can look at someone's pain and go, yes, I empathize with you, and yes, so I've been there or whatever, and just disbelieve the cause and the secondary causation, and treat, or even if it's you or whatever. So you can, I acknowledge it, and then dismiss it not to that person, because their perception is that, and some people hold on to that, but in one sense, in treating, you can't look at it and go, yes, that's reality, because the thing of it is, you're looking at it, no, that's not reality, that's your thought, that's mind, it's coming into form what you're doing. Let's do something different and change your perspective and change, and heal this way, and
Right.
and you're disbelieving basically this, and you're getting this other person to disbelieve that and believe something that's actual truth.
Mm-hmm.
To
Right,
bring
that's
them
the
out of
role of a
what-
practitioner,
Right.
actually, is to help people walk through that process and through just a few questions, hopefully we can reframe help them reframe their experience. But this is the other thing that Holmes says. He says, the first step toward healing is one of honest self-analysis. What has been our habitual feeling towards the people around us? And have we really tried to let them live as they see fit while claiming the same feelings for ourselves? And so, and I was talking with Barbara right before class, and not surprisingly, it came up in our conversation. She wants to teach a different class on healing by a book that we read, and that we had to read in Prac 1, but didn't focus on. And but that she was also saying that the practitioner, whoever he is seeking to do treatment, first has to heal themselves of those thoughts. And because we can't work with someone that we see as dysfunctional or ill or you know, whatever we see, whatever our judgment is, then it just doesn't work. And then it just doesn't work, right? And then we may say, well, because they're not at a level of awareness that is receptive to it. But the truth is that if we're all one, and we're all one mind, then if we see it in someone else, we're seeing it in ourselves. So it goes back to that level of self-analysis, and back to Troward for the people who were in here, that it goes back to that level of self-awareness, self-concept, self-esteem, and self-efficacy. If we have low in any of those, and that's what we're putting into the treatment, that's what we're going to be getting back. And so self-analysis and self-awareness is the first step towards that healing. And as a practitioner, as we work through those, we first treat ourselves before we would start working with someone else. And so I do anyway, and I know that that's the standard for most of the women that I know, so, or in men. There's just mostly female practitioners here, I apologize. But anyway, so that is where I'm at with treatment. I feel very clear, much more clear than I was last week. So I'm grateful. I feel like, yes, they kind of slid away from me a little bit, and this class has helped bring it back, which is very cool, because that is the process. This self-awareness and self-analysis is the process of uncovering that mystic within, when we know the truth. So I'm very grateful for the class and the questions last week on that. I think you started those questions. So, anyway, if it's spiritually realized, it's inwardly felt. So, let's finish up with treatments. What would you have, what have you, let me rephrase that. What have you, or do you still want to release? Back to that very first visioning that we did. Do you feel like there is still something there, or is there still something to be released?
Can you remind us what
That's
the
okay.
thing is about?
We were talking about vision. When we did the visioning, we did it on the circle, right, on the gardening circle. But the thing is what do I need to release in order to support that circle? So, they're two different things, really. It's all one thing, and yet it's two different things. We could have just been easily visioning for, I don't know, the snow plows in safe travels. It's all the same thing. What do you need to release in order for your dreams to manifest, for your beliefs, for your visions to happen? The release is the same, pretty much across the board, I would say. I mean, training is training. Cardio is cardio.
So you release your doubt.
So you release your doubt. So I'm going to ask you to write that down. So if we're doing the condition, mental cause, and the spiritual truth for yourself, just take a few minutes, look at that form, the treatments, and at the top of it, it says, what is the condition that you want to release? And in here, I think it was
30.
It's in week 4. What did you say, 30?
Yeah.
Page 30.
And the pages are in the upper left corner.
Towards the spine.
So, condition. What is the apparent condition that you want to release? And then what is the mental cause behind that condition? Is there still something to be released for you? What are your own goals that we started the class with? I remember that very first night. We talked about what would you like to release? What do you need? What would you like to gain? What is still blocking whatever it is that you wanted? Or is there something new? We can go on, you can move on to something new. So what is the condition, the mental cause? And we can talk more about what the spiritual truth is, if you want. As people are getting to that point. Is anyone unclear about what the spiritual truth might be? And that you might want to share it, and we can talk about what that is.
Well, I know what my thing was. The intention, is that what you're asking? I'm not sure I'm understanding.
At the beginning, I asked about the intention for
Yeah.
the class, and what would you like to kind of like, what would be the goal that you want to reach in it? And it could be the same thing, or it could be something different.
But I'm still working on something.
Okay,
So that's the condition, is that correct?
right,
Okay.
right. And the mental cause?
I had no idea.
So like a good example, an easy one for me, because I talk about this kind of, this is just something that is cyclical for me, and sometimes it's less and sometimes it's more. But I'm pretty fear-based. And so when my mind is going and things are, I know things are getting blocked, like I'm having problems in my classes at school, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. What it really comes down to for me, like if I did it, it's like, what's the condition? My students are being A's, like that. And it's like, that is clearly the condition for me. It's like, and I don't understand why. And then if I'm reflective, and I think the mental cause around that is that I'm fearful. I'm scared about something. For me, it almost always comes back to fear. Always comes back to fear. I'm afraid I'm not going to get the time off I want. I'm afraid that my students don't like me. I'm afraid, and it's not even sometimes what's going on. I hadn't followed up on some other commitments somewhere else, and that was filtering into all that fear. I'm not good enough, and so they're going to think I'm not good enough now because I didn't follow through on that, and I didn't do this. And then what is the spiritual truth there? The spiritual truth for me is that I am loved. I am loved. And that can just break me down. Just like that. As soon as it comes in, it's like, I am loved, and I am powerful, and my word is powerful. And so it's not that I'm just kind of like babbling around 6 hours a day at the college. I think that I really impact people. And when I don't see these kind of results I want, then it's like, well, I'm not doing a good job. It must be me. My mom was right. Why did I get a doctorate? Like, you know, it just goes in and in, and I should have just gotten a good job. I have a good job. Like, what? Like, what does that even mean? So then it all goes to that fear of being accepted, of not being loved, of not doing the right thing. And knowing, for me then, the whole truth of that is that as love, because I am loved, that when it happens, it's like, it's the right thing. It's at that time. That wouldn't have been right to do it before, right? Like it just wouldn't have been right then. It's right now to go forward. There's a reason that there was procrastination. I believe that. There's a reason there's procrastination. You're not ready to go forward. And when you're ready to go forward, you'll stop procrastinating.
What? What?
Phew.
It's true. It's true, because this is heavy work,
Yeah.
right? This is heavy work.
As evidenced by a lot of people that, you know, and this is simple, very simple.
That's right. Joel Goldsmith says it's not for the faint of heart. And he's true, it's true. Almost all of the mystics say that. Holmes talks about it all the time. So, walk through that. So what is your spiritual truth behind your mental cause?
I am one with spirit, and there is no limit to what I can be, do, or have, no matter how old I am. Spirit has no concept of time. It is a man-made thing.
Thank you.
I can give you the whole thing if you want it.
Do people want to,
Sure.
you want your
Rock
whole
on.
treatment or your whole process?
Can we just copy yours?
Yeah.
Before you do, let's hear some other people, and then
Sure.
because you're a gifted practitioner, and so let's let other people share a little bit.
I
She's
just
already,
meant
she's
the
well
condition part of it.
Pardon?
I just meant the condition
Yes.
part.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Oh,
read the
no.
treatment. Yeah,
It's
no,
so
all
long.
three. The condition.
You don't want the whole thing.
Okay, the condition.
We've bounced a lot in my life, and I've used it as a crutch in a way. I've always done jobs that I absolutely love, that filled my soul, always. And now I'm kind of at a place where I want to have stability and good insurance benefits more than I want the whole. I've been a massage therapist, I've been a florist, I was an admin in spiritual centers, that sort of thing. Now I don't know what to do, and I keep hearing the tape repeat, you're 55 years old, what are you going to do now?
Okay.
So
Okay, now it makes sense. The mental cause makes sense. Okay.
part of it is fear. That's what made me think, you're right on with that. The fear is starting to do something different.
Okay. Good, thank you. Anyone else?
Mine's kind of along the same lines, sort of. The condition was a lack of direction, and the mental cause was needing to know how, and the spiritual truth is all I need is already known. Is that good?
That's good.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing. No, it's really good. Your voice is really soft, and so it's kind of filtering in. So it's like, it's not that I'm not listening, it's they're not going to acknowledge it. It's just like I'm going.
Took a minute.
If it's not traveling well through the ether,
It's kind of like sign language. It's like kind of like there's a second delay for me. That would be helpful. Thank you. For both you and Drew down there, because you have a high pitch but soft voice, and you have a low pitch and a soft voice. So it's kind of like
Get him at a party.
it's coming over slow. No. It's good. I appreciate it. So no, thank you. So what is your spiritual truth?
All I need is already known.
Okay, excellent. It's already known. I'm going to steal that. That's okay. In a loving way.
Okay.
So let's, the preconception around the word steal, I think, is
Borrow.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share?
I had for condition a lack of clarity to move forward. The mental cause is not living in the moment, being future-oriented with concerns. Spiritual truth, the divine present is always in the eternal moment now.
That's awesome.
That's it. That's awesome.
stealing it.
In a loving sort of way. Yes. Thank you.
It's not plagiarization, honest.
Would anyone else like to share? Then go ahead and look at the steps. The first one is recognition, is knowing that God is omnipresent, omniscient, everywhere, everything is. The second, unification, is knowing that you're one with God. You've heard the treatments over and over. The third one is realizing the truth, which comes back to the spiritual truth. And then we're grateful and give thanks, and we release it to law. Law of mind, law of love. We anchor it to our word. okay? So just take some time and go ahead and write a few steps of the treatment for you. If you've already written one, read it and see if there are some changes you'd like to make in it. Because it's a new day. Maybe new words come to you.
The curve breaker over there.
Oh,
No,
Upside down.
she's an outlier. The graph goes like this and she's over here, so.
Here's the key with writing treatments or doing treatments, is that whatever is spiritually realized was first inwardly felt, right? You have to feel it in order for it to manifest. If you see yourself, like I see myself as a minister and I'm starting that process, much like I did with when I wanted to get my doctorate, it was just like, I am already. And I started walking through those steps, and I'm doing that now as a minister. I feel like that. I'm still about this far from it, but I'm already in that space. And like, I know it to be true. And I know it to be true. It's kind of like to say, so I know it's going to happen, is kind of like redundant, because I know it is already so. And so the time is immaterial, right? It'll unfold. And so, but you have to feel it. We used this expression last fall too. Do you remember, you already know what money looks like, right? Either you were at Edwin Gaines or you heard me talk about it. We know when we see a dollar bill on the ground that has blown up against a curb, right? We go, oh, that's a dollar bill, and we run right over there. And then we're like, oh, we know quarters, dimes, pennies, nickels. We know the energy of money. And so if you can bring that in at a level that you feel like you can receive, then you have it. But if you're going after $1 million and you've never seen $1 million in your life and you don't know what it actually looks like or can do with 6 zeros, then it won't be there, because you'll start doubting yourself. Mm-hmm.
Like in the, there was a,
So wait, one thought, Drew. So this is the point of that story, is make your goal achievable to you. Know that you can feel it to be true. Go ahead.
in the original Science of Mind, there's a passage about the 3 different men focusing on, what they want in their
Right.
wealth. I think everybody kind of, and yes, they all got what they wanted, but to the level of their experience.
Exactly.
The bricklayer didn't become a billionaire, it was their level of experience at
Their
that point.
level of consciousness.
Their level of consciousness.
Level of consciousness. Right.
And what they were wanting too.
And
Not
what they were
everybody
wanting.
wants the same thing. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire.
That's right. Right, I don't, yeah, but I want a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm learning more and more that what having more and more money feels like.
Well, and what
It's
you can,
different
and what you
than
can
what it
do
felt
with
like.
it,
Yeah,
as opposed to just have it.
that's right. But it's our level of consciousness, it's our level of awareness.
I have no problem being a billionaire.
I had somebody tell
So-
me that was their worst nightmare, is to become a billionaire.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So let's
Very blessed people.
just hold this in silence so that people can think and write their treatments, because this is a powerful thing to do. And we'll take about 10 minutes and let you really work that and think that through.
Got a piece of paper, I can go out and get one.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. This is yours. Oh, yes. That was nice. Thank you. And I have, I usually take notes in something I can pull out of my pocket and reread.
We're going to hold the consciousness for just a few minutes. couple more minutes and then we're gonna move on. Ask for people to share maybe. So think about releasing and maybe sharing. Was there any part of the treatment process that you feel like you got, that you stumbled over, that you felt wasn't as smooth or as easy to express, that anyone would want to share?
I sometimes stumble on the realization, you know, sort of solving it for me or putting the solution into words.
Right. How do you get past that when you find yourself stumble?
I struggle with it. I mean, I sometimes I get lost in doing a treatment. You know, I can get the first 2 steps and then all of a sudden now it's about me, and then I'm sort of like fumbling with it. I don't know, I just keep going until, you know, work through it.
Yeah.
My old minister told me, if you get the first 2 steps and you really deeply feel those 2 and you embody them, the rest of it's just the cupcake part, the fun part. So if you're doing the first 2, you got it made. That's the meat of it.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at it that way when I was going through this the first time. I thought the realization was the most important thing here. Not so much.
No, and it's the gratitude. Yeah. Does that change something for you? You're kind of going,
Well, I think it's just a reflection of being personally muddled in life, that
Right.
you go through life and you sort of have to sort out what works for you. But, you know, I recognize God and I know I'm part of the universe and it's all around me. But where's my part in it? And that's the realization that I struggle with. What is my role in it? What is my
Right.
purpose, if you will?
Right. I know what I used to struggle with realization, actually I still do, because I get caught in the material thing and not the feeling behind it. And so, you know, the example of, you know, I want a new car, you know, but really what is it that I want? Is it the safety? Is it the comfort? Is it, you know, the ego? What is it around getting the new car? Is it the new car? And the prosperity classes would say something different, as you all know. You know, people manifest a Mercedes because they want a Mercedes, because they know exactly how that's gonna feel for them and what that looks like. And so to claim what it is, but there has to be feeling back of that. Awareness. You haven't been to one of the, yeah. You'll experience that this summer, I bet. It'll be a lot of fun.
I noticed that the Monday night one says it's ongoing, so you can just drop in whenever you...
Yeah, technically this one is as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. So maybe
But Barbara's is even more so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbara's gonna be gone in a couple of weeks, so Lena's gonna do a prosperity class.
Who's going to?
Lynn.
Oh, Lynn's gonna do it, and Lissa's gonna watch this class.
Yeah. Like you
I
guys
hope
are
you all
in your
come. Yeah, I'll be there in Salt Lake City with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, with the prosperity class, I don't think they go in depth or pick it apart as much, they just, they don't
Right.
go into the whys and therefores, you know.
Right. Which is, how about other people? Anything that you stumbled over, everything? Is there something you would like to share? Would you like to read your treatment, or do you want to keep it to yourself?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Or just share what you're looking at, because this is the power of this room. As mystics, we can all know the truth with you.
I'm still kind of working on it, I have to know how the clock works before I can set it,
Okay.
you know, I don't know.
Okay. Would anyone like to share or talk about what they're looking at, what they're working on, and let us all hold consciousness with you? Okay.
This just came up, it wasn't the original, so here's what came up tonight. The condition, I have to control my life because there's no one else around to help me or support me. Mental cause fear, all alone. Spiritual truth, not me, but that which is within me, the power within me. Don't understand that. Recognition, there's only one presence, one power, one being, one action, one source, omnipresent throughout time, which I call spirit. Unification, I am one with spirit. Spirit in me, through me, as me, is me in all aspects of my life. Realization, I now know I am not alone, never have been. Omnipresence has and is supporting me in the past, now, and forevermore. Thanksgiving, I am so grateful for this truth of omnipresent support in all aspects of my life. I release this realization of my oneness into the law of love.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want to read yours?
I'm not good with words, but
What's wrong with you start this?
I know that God is all there is. God is the air that I breathe, the water I drink, the smiles I share. God is every friendship, past, present, and future. Because I know this, I know that God lives in me, as me, and through me. And knowing that God is inspiring my thoughts and actions, I realize that the guidance I need is already present and lighting my way. All I need to know is already known. I'm thankful for peace that comes with surrendering control. I now easily release these words to the universe and know that it is done. And so it is.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's lovely.
You got the words,
Not good at
ladies.
that.
Yeah, got the words.
Good
You got the words. Anyone else?
Mine are really not very wordy at all, but they're very effective. And of course, I'll go ahead and tell you the condition. I just did this now because this is my first class here. my condition is I have an irregular heartbeat, and some of you.
Isn't it regular
noticed.
now?
Yeah, it's
Let's just let him.
That's
Let's
all right.
stop. No, hold the crosstalk. Yeah.
No, my heart is still irregular. The spiritual truth is the timing is divine, and my heart is giving me all the oxygen I need. God is all there is, and God is in the action of my heart. I know that the timing is divine, and timing is spiritual. I am grateful for the strength and the health that I am experiencing now. Thankful for my knowledge and experience that has created my awesome health. Release this, and so it is. Mine are rather short, but they're effective.
They are very effective, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you.
I have one, I wrote, and it's one I use, it's a general one. It covers pretty much everything for me. I know that freedom, joy, abundance, and love is all there is. I know that I am healthy, fit, and move with ease and grace and total joy, freedom, abundance, and love. I know that I am abundant, prosperous in every sense of the word, love, relationships, opportunities, money, and health. I am grateful for everything I have, from apples to zucchinis. It all comes from freedom, joy, abundance, and love. I release this treatment into living, loving law and know that it is so, right here, right now, and so it is.
And so it
That's
is.
good.
That is comprehensive. That's good. Yeah. So let's just take a moment and know what you wrote for yourself. Know what we just heard from other people, and let's just know the truth in this room right now. Before we break, we'll just take a moment and just hold that consciousness. Feel the presence of the divine. Just breathe. And we know that there is one God, that there is one life. This life is perfect. And this life is our life now. And so it is. So let's take a 10-minute and we'll come back. You were here before.
Well, that's not the
You were here the first time.
And action.
Sometimes I just want to go into some monologue just for the hell of it. Barbara, remember last week I was like, saying,
Yeah.
and let me just ask for forgiveness before I continue. Well, somehow that's not on the tape. I told Barbara about it. I was like, so if you watch the video, just forgive me. And she goes, you don't have to ask for apologies or say you're sorry. And I said, I'm not saying I'm sorry. I'm just saying, just forgive me. And she said she listened to it, but it wasn't there. Whatever I thought was bad wasn't there.
Well, we all know.
Let's not rehash the whole thing because I remember what it was. But
Telling
if
on
she
it.
didn't hear it, then that's fine too. We hear what we need to hear for our own self-awareness. So we're gonna feel like we're gonna take 2 steps back, but it's really not because we all have these things. I'd like to do a check-in. But I'd also like you to keep thinking. So we're going into this spiritual realm and we're doing treatments and we've done visioning and we know that we are mystics and we're reading, Goldsmith, who is, very academic in some ways and at the same time very spiritual. It was like very point on. You are the cause, you are the cause for celebration, right? Same thing. And it's like we create everything in our life. And so let's take a step back and look at some of the old beliefs that we still carry. So even as we do a treatment in 20 minutes ago and try to move to step out of it, let's look at some of the old beliefs that we still carry. Like what we could either say are irrational or that just don't make sense to us now, but when we think about them, we go, why is that? But at the same time, there they are, still, right? Oh, if I wasn't speeding, I wouldn't have gotten a ticket. Is it really that black and white? Yeah.
I see them see that as echoes of our old doubts and fears and everything else in our
and what are some, Drew? This is the question. Not what are they, but what are some of your own irrational
doubts, fears of not being good enough, not being young enough, not being able enough, bodily, physically, mentally capable, and just smart enough, eloquent enough. Just all of these things.
So, when do they come up for you? What are they, and when do they surface for you? What are some of those fears and things that continue to hold us back? And when do they happen? Yes?
when I go out in the cold like tonight, my nose starts running.
Okay. What's the irrational fear behind that?
No, I think it's that I believe that when you get cold, your nose runs. I think it came from.
I see what you're saying. Right, if you go out with a wet head, you're going to catch cold.
Yeah.
Because that's what Mom used to say. My mom used to say many
I can't
things.
seem to get it out of my association.
Right, right. My mom used to say a lot of things that just weren't true. Like, no one's going to marry you if you give it away for free. And what she didn't know is that I didn't want to get married. Sorry.
She thought you were giving it away to everybody?
No,
Why buy the cow?
yeah.
So nobody steals your cow, that's what.
It doesn't matter. But what is it? What are those things that pop up for you? And if you want to write, take a minute and jot something down. What is your self-image that holds you back? What is, there are things, as much as this field would like to have us believe that they're not, until we are self-reflective, they will stay there.
Well, there's my thinking side and my feeling side, and sometimes they come together. But what I think is that usually for me, that's my perspective, is that when you go to try something either new or different, or that you want to forcefully go in, it's that you're going to leap from this edge of the cliff over to that cliff, and even if it's an inch, your safety mechanism, your ego is still trying to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what you do with that. It's like, like acknowledge it and transcend it, or turn away from it, or whatever, however your method. But it's like that fail safe, or that it's like a fail safe gone awry and a little too much,
Right. I'm gonna ask you to come back in and really focus on you.
Okay.
And what may one of those things be for you that holds you back? A specific circumstance, like write down something that might really hold you back around what you're just saying. Everyone has one?
I can go.
One or two?
I'll be fearless. I don't have a degree, so the belief system around that is because I don't have a degree, I don't deserve to have a higher paying, stable job.
Right. Okay. That's a good one.
Good and bad.
Well, I mean, that's a good negative one.
I know what you mean. I get what you mean.
Thank you for sharing, but I know what you're saying. Right. Right.
Judgment.
In what way?
Although I'm now beginning, I now know that I always felt I was always being judged, that I had to live up to something. And then I projected it, and I was always judging out there, judging everybody. But I was always much harsher to myself than anybody else. But it showed up as projection.
Good. Anyone else want to share?
I had a fear of greatness in the sense of, if you follow your faith, where will it lead you? And will you be up to the challenge?
Right. Right.
If
Yeah,
you-
Nepo talked about that a little bit in this section. Yeah. Were you able to narrow it down a little?
Yeah, basically, it's not just, for me, it's a fear of criticism, but more self-criticism. And I do, the fear and doubt of the outcome, because like a lot of people, I will go through to where I want to go, and my mind will make up so many scenarios of how it's not going to,
Right.
before I'm finished going, yes, this is where I want to go. And it's that fear of 1,000 you can'ts, and the criticism of myself.
Okay.
And I can just, foresee it going horribly wrong 1,000 different ways, and not working on that focus.
Okay.
But having to push through.
Okay, good. So it's self-criticism, not people criticizing you?
No.
Okay, it's your own voice, okay, that holds you back. Okay. Anyone else? Sure, Brent?
Growing up, whatever I did was never quite right or quite good enough. So I just sort of didn't do a lot. I didn't do anything showy, or I just basically sat there, didn't talk, didn't share. And I still don't share that much, but I'm getting better.
Right.
You are,
At this
actually,
rate,
quite a bit, you are.
So,
I've noticed the difference.
Yeah.
thank you, and you guys have all helped, so I feel grateful for my growth.
happened? Thank you all for mirroring everything I wrote down. And deeper, because it was like, okay. And yours, about the degree, I was like, oh my gosh, you got that too. So I guess I have a lot of you guys, you know, just mirroring this back to me. And I was thinking, well, you know, I had judgment then, I had doubt. Yours plays in when I'm getting to move forward. I'm sort of recreating myself, and that's the first thing that comes to me. Well, who do you think you are? You don't have the degrees behind your name. I don't care if you think you're a medicine woman. It doesn't matter. Who's going to want to see you? Then I have a class and one person shows up. Well, there's the validation of your thoughts, I think. You know, nobody wants to hear what you have.
Well, there's not a degree for a medicine woman.
No, but I'm just, you know, the things that I would share with people and, you know, oh, I'm not,
So you're-
they're not good enough.
So they're not good enough?
Yeah.
That's
Comes in.
holding you back, the same kind of self-critique?
Yeah, like, no, and everyone said, no, don't do it, go out there. And
Yeah.
so, you know,
Right.
I've been facing that fear and scheduling the classes and faking it till I make it, whatever.
Right.
And who comes are to be there, whether it's one person or 8 people, or 2 people or 20 people.
Right.
That knowing that that is perfect.
Okay, so let's stay in the fear piece, or the piece that's not working, because we're gonna go to the other side of that. So we're gonna go to exactly where you went just now. Is there anyone else who wants to share about some limiting thought or something that holds them back, that still crops up?
Well, mine, it was a combination of, one of the things initially on my intention for the class was dealing with judgment. And then the criticism plays well with the judgment, because they kind of both go hand in hand. And mine is self and my perception of others,
Right.
of what they see and think. And so, you know, it's all that sort of stuff.
Okay. It's really powerful stuff, isn't it? It's pretty amazing. Part of mine is it doesn't matter what degrees I have, I'll never be good enough. And I'll never have a good job. Like, just because I have this job doesn't mean I could get that job.
Well, don't tell me that.
But I'm just saying,
But
it
just
doesn't-
get the degree, it's gonna be
the
okay.
truth is that it doesn't, it's not the degree, it's the person.
You just reinforced her self-regulating factor. Oh, no.
I know.
I did have insight around it, and I've had insight before, but it came up and I wrote, the spiritual truth is that I am one with God. Does God deserve fill in the blank? If I'm one with God and I'm an expression of God, does God deserve to have the highest, best career? Of course.
Right. So, by that line of reasoning, has God a minister then? I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, she is.
That,
And don't tell Barbara that she's not.
God, or a minister, or the I know she loves me so much. So here's the thing, what I'd like you to do, tap into that, one of those limiting beliefs, because I think we have more than one, and they come around and they come up and they surface and they go around. I'm a walking ball of things, contradictions all the time, and I am one to voice them, and so because I believe if I keep them inside and I don't give voice to them so that they can that energy can dissipate, but I like that I let the energy build, then it's just not good for me. And so I have a tendency to tell people what's on my mind, like little things. And I told someone one recently, and it got back to Barbara. And so let me say one thing on this video, is that when we leave here, let's try to leave what we discuss here, because it's important to the support and confidentiality of what we share. So
With it being online.
With it being online, but let's not go to a restaurant and talk about other people, is the point. We don't need to tell other people what people have said here. It's not there, it's not important. It's only important to the person who said it. So let's just say that. But if we didn't have them, what would your life have been like? Would it have been differently? If you didn't have this self-critique, this voice going on, this limitation stopping you, what would have been different in your world growing up?
Wow.
Can you
Wow.
imagine that?
Yeah.
Just think about that. If you don't have this illusion or that false belief or that self-critique going on, how would you have been different? Can you imagine something different? Like Fran, I'm looking straight at you.
Maybe president.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, why not?
I would actually vote for you.
Would have been very different.
Yeah.
I'd have the degree.
If that wasn't holding you back from the ultimate job and making money?
Well, no, it's that voice when you're a kid that I thought I wasn't very intelligent, if you
Right.
could picture that. And I believed it, deeply believed it, because of, things that you get from family or you hear from whatever. And it took years for me to realize that I'm smarter than your average bear.
Yeah.
I went back to college and I was carrying a 4.0, and I'm like, who is this person? So I have taken college classes, it's just that I've never finished a
Right.
degree.
And we all know that degrees are the, cream cheese frosting on a chocolate cake, and they're just sweet as all get out, but it doesn't change if, you don't have it inside, then it's just a letter or three. Yeah, really. RScP is the hardest degree I've earned.
Which one is that?
The practitioner. It's the most revealing and absolutely the hardest. You've done that.
Yes, ma'am.
You can do anything.
There you go, you've got letters.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
4 of them.
4 of them.
Got a degree in life.
What would you be, Drew, if you didn't have that self-critique going on?
I would probably be 4 or 5 things at once.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably be an engineer, physicist, artist, and musician. And maybe a ballerina, I don't know, thrown in there. But I would have, and I think that's where I'm literally, my whole body just went, that's where you want to be right now. You just, and degrees don't matter in my world, but anyway, I mean, I give props, but my body just went, yeah, that's the headspace you need to be in now anyway.
Right.
What if? And yeah, what if? Because who cares about money and status? It's about what do you bring to the world?
I'll probably have to make the tutu, I don't think they come that big.
Your sister says.
They'll have to make what?
What would you do? Let's stop the crosstalk a little bit.
The only thing with mine there, I think I would be clear and felt connected to others in my
Okay.
life, a connection that I think hasn't manifested as much as it would have had I had the clarity, had I had the openness in the past that I felt held back from.
Right. Exactly.
Connections.
Okay. So, people who shared, you don't have to share again.
I'd be traveling and sharing my gifts in a global way.
Okay. So you can see that, all of you can see how your life would be different. I can definitely see for myself. So, if you can feel that then, so let's take just a brief moment and write an affirmation with that feeling of who you are without that voice in your head.
Without the negative voice?
Without the, if you, that wasn't there, write an affirmation about who you are. Not who you can be, but who you are, without that voice. Mark says that this is the process of speaking deeply. Like, we spend a lot of time learning how to listen, but we don't talk about how we talk about our experiences and how we speak deeply, just as deeply as listening deeply. We listen to ourselves, but how do we articulate our experiences? And so that's what this is going to. We filter what we hear through what we believe, so we limit what we take in to only that is what is familiar, right? We talked about that in terms of like frame of reference, and that this narrows our understanding of things as they are. Speaking deeply has something to do with letting things pass through our heart as they are, the way ink is pressed through silk to imprint a lasting design so that we can wear it. So how do we speak deeply enough that it touches our soul when we're articulating our own experiences, what that says to me? And writing an affirmation is one of those ways that allows me a voice, you know, to myself in my own space. Even when I'm meditating, I just sit down and write down, I am that, you know, or I might write an affirmation for myself. And if anyone wants to share their affirmation this evening, then after you finish, we will acclaim by saying, yes, you are, like that. Like, yes, it is true. Yes, so it is. Yes, you are that which you believe you are. So would anyone want to share? And have us all mystics support? Yes. There is an energy back of you that's got your back. I'm just making sure, yep.
I'll share mine.
Yay.
I am a powerful, loving, supportive, prosperous, creative, fun being.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. And so it is.
So it is.
Well done. Thank you. Anyone else?
A beautiful giving soul, designing and creating works and inventions that make the world better.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. And
Yes.
you do. Yes. And so it
So it
is.
is.
So it is.
I am a wonderful, safe, and positive woman that everybody loves.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
are. And
Yes,
so it
it
is. This is nice. I
This
like
is really,
this.
yeah, this is awesome.
I feel like the kids on stage.
We love you. Yes. Anyone else? Oh,
I am a powerful and loving, dynamic teacher, sharing my gifts passionately with the world. I am supported abundantly by the universe. I am love.
Yes, you are, and so it is. Yes.
Thank you.
Mine, as you remember, is very short, but my belief that every time I get, okay. I am a powerful, healthy outdoorsman exploring mountains in Colorado.
Yes, you are, and so it is.
Yes, already.
We can know the truth for everything.
I stand tall and proud and joyfully share my gifts.
Yes, you are, and so it is. Yes, you are. Woo. Anyone else who hasn't shared? Okay.
I am wonderful, loved, supportive, creative, and appreciated.
Yes, you are, and so it is.
I started a new thing.
Okay, I did, I am a powerful, present, spiritual presence, sharing openly life with others and aware of communion with God.
Yes, you are, and so it is. Energy in there.
I know,
Don't you
right?
feel it? My whole body just goes boom. I love it.
A burst.
What is yours?
I didn't have anything until she said something about travel, so I just
Okay.
put, I now freely and easily travel the state, country, and the world.
Yes, you do, and so it is. Yes, we'll just say it all to you. And so it is. Yes, you are, so you do.
Yes, yeah, and that, and everything, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
I am fierce and powerful. I earn an excellent living being creative. I am paid well doing work that I adore. Life is good.
Yes,
it is.
And so it is. That's great, yeah.
It seems like by celebrating the individual, the group becomes one with it and you feel part of it.
Right.
And it enhances, you know, there's a power behind it.
There
That's how I
is.
felt.
And then this goes back to your statement earlier. This is the third step,
The realization.
the realization. This is the third step of treatment, the
Well, the-
What
realization.
Dave just said was where I started mine, and then I was gonna say, you are, meaning whoever is in front of me
Right,
that I'm looking at, you are loved, supported, creative, and appreciated. So,
Right.
and that's from the Sundays thing, you know.
Right.
I am, you are.
right.
Lifting everybody up, and I think that's what's
Right.
happening here.
Namaste.
And, well, because I know, that some of them don't call the third step realization, some call it affirmation.
Right,
And so you can do it like an affirmation as opposed to figuring out a technical, thing.
yeah.
And I know lots of times when we're doing treatments, having classes on treatments, that's how they phrase it, as an affirmation as opposed to,
A realization.
yeah.
All
Celebrating,
depends on who's teaching the class.
Yeah.
celebrating the individual becomes more part of the group, one of us, one of us.
It's like a team.
That's nice.
Like a team.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, thank you for doing that this evening. So I'm
Do you
gonna,
have one?
do I have one?
Ah.
I do. And I said it earlier, actually. I am loved, and my voice is strong and powerful.
Yes, you are, and so it is.
Thank you. Yay. So, do you all hear that? Or is it just me? No, a high-pitched ringing?
I always hear that.
Oh, you have tinnitus? No, you don't. Of course you don't.
No, I do.
I hear, okay, whatever, so
But I
much
don't.
energy vibrating.
Yeah. it is.
We're gonna just hand out the week 6, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. Thank you for joining us, go in peace. And,
But you're right, there is palpable energy in the room, just that.
yes,
Little
yeah, I could
exercise.
hear high-pitched ringing.
Did you want to do a closing thing
For that,
before we
I
turn
did,
this off?
go in peace, thank you for joining us.